How long have you been listening to the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
The first time I heard of them, I think, was in a movie that was made in like 1986 called Thrashin', or maybe 87 or something. And they were like the band playing at some club in this movie. So that was probably the first time I heard of them. Didn't really start listening to them until 1989 when I got to college.
And what did you like about them when you started listening to them?
The funky bass.
The funky bass.
The funky bass, especially in that stuff that was, I mean, obviously in 89 they only had a couple albums at that point, and
just because of my love for funk music and my punk rock experiences, I translated the punk rock thing to funk, and it came out like this really hard, aggressive, slapping thing, which I was doing for a long time. It's like this really fast thing, and I did it. I did the hell out of it, and I've done it all over the world and done it on a lot of records, and really made a name for myself.
I was clearly inspired by George Clinton of Parliament, and he was definitely inspired by that, and there was the funky bass line that I really liked. Plus all the females in the dorm all loved the Chili Peppers. They're all like, yeah, you got to check out this band. They're listening to it all the time, and of course there was the poster of them all standing with the sock. And I remember going into this girl's room one time, and she had that poster on the back of her door, and she closed the door, and she's all like, "You look like that guy." And,
All right, Andrea. How long have you been listening to the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Ooh, years. For years. A couple years.
So years meaning 10 years, 5 years?
Probably since Blood Sugar Sex Magic came out. That's probably when I started listening to the Chili Peppers. So 90s.
What's one of your favorite albums?
That is my favorite album, Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
And what is so great about that album that stands out from the rest?
I like the versatility of the songs. I think on the album they do some more kind of like slow jazzy songs and like hard rocker songs, and as opposed to some of the other albums are just more like hard rock. I don't know. I just like it.
Who's your favorite band member out of the four? Or, I mean, out of past, they've definitely had different band members throughout their career.
And stuff. I like Anthony Kiedis, of course.
Do you really?
Yeah.
And what's so great about Anthony? I mean,
well, besides the fact that he's hot, I love his tattoos, and he's a great singer, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed him in concert. He had a lot of energy and just draws you in with his out there personality.
how many people have told you that you look like Anthony?
a day.
A day. No, like in your lifetime. I mean, have you had like many people? I mean, didn't you say that the girl in your in the dormitory told you did?
Yeah, that was probably the first time I heard it was in the dorm, and that was probably the first I was aware of it. And that picture too was like a black and white picture, and it was from square on. And the way my hair was in those days, and the way his hair was, I can see, like, that first picture I saw, I could see, like, wow, okay, there's a similarity from the right angle. The thing is, when you get off angle at all, like, even from over here, you start seeing the features of my face are different. From straight on, we look kind of similar.
Yeah.
And I guess I've been told a lot that from behind,
What was the first album you bought by them? Do you remember?
The first album that I bought, probably Mother's Milk.
Their particular songs?
No, there wasn't a particular song. Okay, Freaky Styley was definitely the first one I got. This was the first one I got really into, anyway, at least, for sure. And the cover work on there is cool. It just looks like a big, crazy mosh pit, but kind of like a funky mosh pit, not like a heavy metal mosh pit, like, I don't know. And then Mother's Milk, I think, was the second one. Or I might have bought those two about the same time.
In comparison to seeing them in Sacramento, which was the second concert you saw, correct? What would you say the difference between those two concerts were? I mean, were they similar? Did you like the LA one, since it's the same tour, better than the Sacramento one? Or I mean, was the seats different?
They were actually both really good. The only thing about the one in Sacramento was that we were on the floor, and I'm really short, so it was kind of hard for me to get a really good view of them the whole time. Whereas in LA, wasn't on the bottom floor, but I was right on the railing of the upper deck, so I got a really, really good view of the band the whole entire time, and I was pretty close to them in LA, and I just really liked it in LA. I definitely liked the one in LA a little better because that was their hometown, so they definitely. Not to say they didn't put everything into it in Sacramento, but I just really think they just put that extra, I felt like they put a little bit extra into the concert in LA because, that's their hometown.
I'll give it away now. I'll give it away now. I'll give it away.